Hi, everybody, and welcome to my review for Skribbal's new EP, the Qurantine Sessions EP. This is the Headspace podcast, the show where we break down the new hip hop albums track by track, giving our thoughts and opinions on every single song. My name is Holden Stephan Roy, and the kind of album we would talk about would be something like Skribbal's Qurantine Session EP. So, full disclosure, the Skribbal here, he is one of the patrons who do support the channel, but that's not why I chose to review the EP. Just I like to start it off, in terms of the beginning of the show, expressing why I picked the albums and whatnot. And I think the dude's dope. Like, long before anything, he asked us to cover one of his albums, so we did. That was back before I made my "you better give me the lyrics" rule. But he did. He gave me the lyrics. He provided me the project. So I'm actually recording this thing before it's even dropped yet. So, I'm going to hope to put this out at midnight tonight as the album actually comes out. So y'all be able to catch that. That was cool. That's fun. I guess getting it ahead of time. Actually, there's some other group on like Europe that sent us their stuff that I'm going to be putting out in May, a review like that. Anyway, but it was more, he put out a particular track called F. Carole Baskin. I'm not swearing at the beginning part of the review. And I heard it and it was pretty dope. And then he said he was dropping the project. So I proactively said, I will do this review for you because you're a good dude and I enjoy your tunes and whatnot. So that was my prerogative. On that note, I do appreciate all the patrons, and they do have their power to force us to review albums, but I didn't want to make it sound like Skribbal used his powers. He still gets some other review that he gets to request and not be this doesn't count. This is just me coming in. On the other hand, I'm going to just be honest, too, because, like, if I dislike something, I'm going to just say it, because that's the level of life that we're at here. But on that note, I guess we can get into it. I don't have a lot more to say. I'm trying to cut the intros down a little bit, get into the meat a little quicker. Just I get the feeling sometimes my jibber jabber isn't all that interesting, but I do think Skribbal's interesting. As I understand it, he's West Coast, and I thought that was cool. So if he's not West Coast, then I'm gonna be a little embarrassed with the thumbnail picture that I chose. I don't actually have that much more than to say. We chit chat on the Instagram here and there. I think the dude's dope. I feel like he and I have a very similar sense of interest in terms of the music we consume, and yeah, I don't know. I figure we can get into it. It's called the Qurantine Sessions EP. I suppose this is a time appropriate title, as is, I guess, the title of the track that enticed me in the first place. What this tells me when I hear that is dude is stuck at home. Like, we're all kind of stuck at home. He threw together a project. I probably shouldn't take this as the most serious, like, art, piece, fully constructed album of all time, but just throw on some tunes, bang out while, like, have something new to listen to. I feel like he made it quick. He's made it while he's been locked down, using his time productively. So I think that's pretty cool, and I kind of like it. I also feel like it's a timestamp, so in the future we can all remember that this all happened. So I don't know. It's definitely on the more generic sides of tapes, but I suppose it suits its purpose. It's cool. It'll stick. It'll also play well on SEO, so kudos on the marketing front. I like the cover a lot more than I like the title because it's got cartoon lightning-y Skribbal. It has this like effect where it's almost like he's a comic book character. You can almost picture like this is a picture of him holding the mic in his actual basement, and then just comic bookified it, and I thought that was really nice. I like the way his logo is at the top. It's just kind of good branding. And I like the fact that, like, it feels like some effort was put into making like an album cover because these days, like, when you make covers, and especially when they're all supposed to be really small, I find a lot of people don't put that much effort into it. But this is cool. This could work as a poster or something, so I like it. Anyway, it's 8 tracks. We're gonna get into it right quick. Let's start off with the first one, Pistol on My Side. So right off the jump, you have like his kid on there kind of introducing the album. So you can almost picture him now at home with his kid, the kid sitting around in the studio while he's making his music. And I find it adds like this charm in like a positive way. Like it just humanizes Skribbal as like a dad on top of everything else. I don't know. I thought it hit real nice. And as you listen to the tape more and more, because, you know, when I do these reviews, I hear them at least 4 to 5 times. I feel like it was just endearing to hear the kid. He comes back almost like how Eminem used Alfred Hitchcock as like a way to like hedge a continuity throughout the album. It's like Skribbal did the same crap with his kid, and I thought that was cool. It just felt sincere. Anyway, this one comes in with like a banging beat. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's got more of it's a vibe, right? Like, I don't put this on and hear it and go, I'm going to get pensive. I feel like I'm supposed to be cruising down somewhere. I'm supposed to be escaping my apartment and seeing the outside. Although it's fucking snowing today in Montreal. Like, literally, it was like thick snow earlier. So I don't know that I want to go outside. It might be smarter to put on like the VR headset and cruise in a fake car while listening to something like this, because it's got a vibe to it. And the way Skribbal raps is tight. One thing I love about this guy is his flow is punchy. He kind of hits the cadence proper. He sticks in the pocket, but like in a way that it shows like expertise to it. I wouldn't say it's like the craziest, trixiest flow, but on the other hand, it's that kind of vibe where like you just hear like pistol on my side, pistol on my side. I was born to ride, you was born to die. Again, it's not necessarily the most complex shit, but he uses his voice in such a way where it feels like an instrument complementing the beat. I really appreciate the way he hits it. So it's definitely vibe music in my opinion. Ride around the block, shut the lights off, shut the fucking light off, and you just get this sense of him cruising out there, ready to go, with a pistol on his side. He's a dangerous motherfucker, and if you see him coming, I guess shut your lights off, or he'll use the gun to shut your lights off. He's gonna pull up with the Glock. I mean, I always hear this stuff and feel like it's hyperbolic because, you know, it sets like an image and a tone. But like at the same time, I feel like I kind of understand what he's going for here. There was a time when rap was dangerous, I suppose. And I guess a lot of the old heads who are craving some like old-timey danger, this is perfect for that. This, to me, is a very young dude. I believe he's younger than me. He's a young dude who is effectively creating some old man shit right here. And I kind of like that vibe. I like the way he comes in, and it just works for me. Everybody down, fuck around, pistol in your mouth, bitch, don't make a sound. But knowing the clown letting off the rounds, in the mood for some doom, put you in the ground. I don't have a lot to comment on it. It's pretty much, it flows well, the rhymes well, the way he says everything, punches proper. To me, it's a little on the pretty average come through hard shit, but the thing is the way he says it has this edge of believability to it. So if another dude just came in and spit these lyrics, it might come off sounding like if I were to write this shit, y'all would just look at me and be like, are you fucking kidding me? You aren't putting a pistol in anybody's mouth. But when Skribbal comes through, the way he spits it, the whole everything, the kind of like, I don't want to call him a psycho, but a psychotic edge to it, like don't fuck with him, emanates off of that. Like somebody who may have actually seen some shit to justify the point of having a pistol on his side. And I feel like you can just feel that kind of energy when somebody's spitting that shit. Like, I'll be honest, I don't ever want to have to fight with Skribbal. He'd probably kick the shit out of me. I'm happy to have an intellectual debate, but if it comes down to the physicals, I just doubt I had the experience to have come from the kind of world that would allow him to get away with writing this shit, whereas I can't be harsh like that. It's just not going to work. I could do other stuff, just not that. So I commend the believability of like the tough image that he's putting out. I'm not trying to call it an image in a negative way. It's just kind of what it is. It's weird. Knowing the guys can Instagram you after makes you really question what you're saying as you're saying it on the camera. Anyway, wine smoke, now that guy caught the overdose, load the bullets, eyes bulging out their fucking skulls, blood dripping, 40 sipping, body filled with holes, lift your soul to clouds, time to let it go. So to complement what I was saying before, if I wanted to feel hard, I'd throw on some shit like this and walk around my kitchen throwing up my air guns and fucking blast the dishes like I'm a hard gangbanger. I'm not, but, you know, sometimes you want to wild out while washing those dishes if you live in life like I do. Overall, I feel like this track hits in with a vibe. It gets you moving. I don't necessarily think that it is like the next level of shit I've ever heard. No offense, Skribbal. But I think this is the kind of shit where like if it comes on while I have my random going, I would add this to the playlist and vibe to it. Like, it's got this energy. Like, I could cycle to this shit. I could wash dishes to this shit. I could copy and paste in Excel to this. So it kind of hits this whole energy. All it's really lacking is, I guess, that profound intellectualism that draws me in on depth of concept. But that's not the kind of song it is. It's just totally a really well-made fucking banger. Comes through with that shit. Like, I like in the second verse when he's like, my trigger quick, click, click, now you out the game. Doused in flame, put your head out, bitch, House of Pain. And I kind of like to shout out to House of Pain. I don't know if Lethal made the beat. Maybe he did. But in general, like, it just kind of has that shout out to I know that Skribbal digs them. I know that, like, it's cool. Like, it just has the energy. I'm running out of shit to say on this. It's a proper thing. I get the feeling that, Skribbal's power, he's not into the, the sensitive side of shit. He's not into the people that are kind of fake about it. He comes in with the real reals. It's that kind of shit. I give it a 4.35 on 5. I really enjoyed the track. Let's get on to the second one. Come Get It, featuring TG. See, here on the chorus, he goes West Coast in this bitch, so come get it. So, like, I'm like 98% sure he's West Coast. If not, that would be an odd bar here. I should know this. I feel like a fool talking to the dude and not remembering that, but nah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm only doubting myself because I started thinking about it. I like the vibe of this, man. It has the car bouncy feel to it, because I like to bring this up because I'm jealous. I live in the land of no hydraulics, and that shit's illegal. So never ever have I ever seen in my life cars doing the real bouncy bouncies like you want to see it. Like, you play the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you make the car bounce. I always stole that one because it bounced. But, like, it's not here. Hell, the lights under the bottom of the car, that's also illegal. We don't get any of the cool stuff like that. So I kind of just always picture that when I hear a certain sound. So I pictured the cars bouncing to this one, and I feel like it hits that vibe absolutely proper. It's like an anthem to being from the West Coast. And I don't know about the everybody want to fuck with Cali MCs because I'm not really paying attention to it like that. I suppose that's true. I guess people don't like them. But I guess there's also this sound and this style to West Side Cali rap that it just emanates, and I like it. I feel like this brings it to the table. We over in Montreal we don't have that here, and well, I'm certain a couple people try to do it, but like, there just feels like this buzz coming from it. Like, like I said, if I can picture the cars bouncing, it just feels right. Skribbal's flow on the chorus is amazing. The dude does hooks well. What I mean is, like, when you like stop playing the track later on, you're gonna hear it like West Coast in this bitch, so come get it. Watch, I fucked at the floor or something. Anyway, it plays in your head after, and like, I just like it. I feel like he's got a good sense of like the math of how to create like an earworm styled hook. And then he comes in on the verse, and it's proper. Just the goon turned out to the average from the moon, shroomed out, but I landed. Life's a cartoon, Looney Tune. I'm a savage, popped up out the blue, drop an anvil on your planet. I enjoyed that. The Looney Tune tying into the anvil dropping bar, because I believe that happens in Looney Tunes. But like, and then even just connecting that back to the shroom lines, like, because you're fucking hallucinating. Life turns into a cartoon and gets all nuts. I feel like just the way you can connect the bars like that's pretty dope. I'll choke you with the motherfucking mic cord, the mighty sword that I bring death. I like the idea that his mic cord is his weapon. He uses the pen as a sword, kind of taps into that imagery. It's fucking dope. Unseen till it's time to rest the soul sucker, rip your heart out your chest, soul crusher, cold motherfucker, the flow fire, roll through your block, post up with the iron. Again, hard shit. He comes through, he does his thing, and the rest of the verse kind of like, plays to that shit. Blast through your windshield, kill your desire, hose, get the pipe in, throw it to the cipher, let all my boys hit it, send it back wider. It's like, it's standard in the way that you enjoy hearing when you hear it. Is it revolutionary? Nah. Does it flow proper? Abso-fucking-lutely. I enjoyed listening to this. I felt like it just hit this night. It's like the fact that you got something that sounds like this dropping in 2020 shuts up all the haters who talk about how people don't make real hip-hop anymore. It's just people don't look for shit in the underground. Anyway, TG, never heard of the dude, but he comes through and he has this amazingly like flow to it that bounces off Skribbal. It just complements him proper. Like, he just sounds a different kind of West Coast, but still right there proper. Me and my Skribbal, that's an alley-oop off the dribble. Just the way he said it, it just fucking flowed. It was just nice. Watched his 40 cal catch a bullet like George Kittle. I know who the fuck George Kittle is. I probably should have Googled that. I'll Google it later. Y'all let me know in the comments if you do know. Skribbal, you can let us all know in the comments. If I'm on your head, keep your ass on a swivel. I swear I've never heard the fucking term swivel outside of a West Coast rap song. Like, literally, I've never heard anybody say swivel outside of West Coast folk. Real LA Raider, word to my car, eating whack rappers because it's all about bars. And this guy's in my lungs got me stomping on stars. I appreciate it. To me, again, it's playing into, like, it's like listening to a stand-up comic that knows his crowd exactly how to spit the joke perfectly to them to get the, like, enjoyability out of the moment. But I can't necessarily say that any of this is striking out at me as I'm gonna remember the bars. So on the one hand, it's dope. On the other hand, it's not exceptionally dope. So that's fine. I give this another 4.35. I think the way they rap, I think the way they flow on the beat, top tier, like absolutely exceptional. Again, the only thing I would say is this kind of rap is already not necessarily my favorite. The underground, I'm the best shit, which is kind of what they're doing well. And again, they're doing it well. So don't take this like I'm hating. It's just, it's all right. It's not my favorite kind of thing. I do think, though, that the next track brings in a different side of Skribbal that is a lot more my cup of tea. So let's talk about that kind of love. Everything about this song catches me in the, oh, you Skribbal, you got me on this one vibe, down to the, like, cheesy vocal sample in the beat that just elicits on my heartstrings. His kid being like, "Daddy, you know I love you," right? It's like, oh, it's gonna be one of those songs. And the thing is, this it needed one of those songs because the last two were like real tough guy type shit. So hearing the sensitive side of Skribbal coming through, that kind of more relatable, humanistic shit, I'm at my age, I appreciate this a lot more. I connect with it, but gotta live, gotta love, had to get away from the friends, from the drugs, from my everything, re-engage, reinvent. But the struggle stays. It never leaves, only sleep until another day. What I hear here is a guy who has reflected on his life, evaluated his past decisions, and made some of those really hard choices that forces people to embrace like better days, and then is going through the process of becoming a better version of himself, but understanding the struggle and the complications of it. And that's beautiful to me because the world needs more people, especially tougher guys, to come through and be like, yo, it's hard and I'm going to just keep getting better. And that's just kind of what it is because everybody, I think, is going through that kind of thing. But the way he kills the chorus, he bounces off of it like, gotta live, gotta love, had to get away. It just flows in. It just has that anthemic feel. Like I can picture the live show on this one. I can picture the lighters up and everything. Anyhow, the verses are beautiful, crippled by sobriety, brought up by anxiety. Everywhere I walk, I feel like everybody's eyeing me. Now, this is like, it's almost like even like when you hit that point of sobriety, whether it's like actual sobriety or maybe the sobering moments of coming to terms with who you are as a person, it, in my opinion, or at least for me, it brings out anxiety. You look around, people watching you, you become almost hyper aware to the world around you when you become aware of the world around you, which inherently, especially if you're not necessarily living right as a youth, you may become a little selfish and unaware of that world. So like when I hear these lines, I'm like connecting to it as a human. I'm like, this is kind of powerful, a little skittish, paranoid to put it mildly, but everything is turned around since I put it down. Thank the Lord, my soul's clean, it's goodbye. The dark rivers run from the sun's light. The black sky that brings forth the cold storm is on course to change course. I'm reborn. So I'm not sure what substance we are discussing here. To be honest with you, I really don't know. Or I don't even know if it's a substance or if it's a behavior, but I think the way he wrote it is super general. And whether it's your porn addiction, whether it's the crack pipe, whether it's weed or booze or whatever the fuck it might be, maybe it's infidelities, I think that the way he wrote this allows it to be super applicable to anybody to just take this thing, you know, higher power type shit. Really, it kind of reminds me a bit of like an AA approach in terms of just turning yourself over to the higher power, embracing the new perspectives. And then you get to the second half of the verse, after being reborn, a new start, a new path, a new age, a new day with a blue sky and no rain, a new change of thought, a new perception, a new man, a new woman to rest with. So it's like you can kind of picture how his world is flipped it up. It's like he internalized and found the things within him that may have been problematic and has flipped that shit. He found better a partner to be with. He found like a whole new way to look at the world, because often when we are going through complicated shit, the problems a lot of the problem is us. Like, it's usually 50% the world, because the world is kind of fucked up, but we tend to highly overlook that other 50% where it's our perception, it's how we respond to things that matters. So like, I just feel like this verse succinctly puts down a lot of self-help shit in a really good way. It's a cage I've been trapped in, this fucking brain. Again, like, if your mind is overactive or you've ever fucking had to deal with any kind of shit, like, it's kind of what it feels like, you know? But once I learned to relax, I could heal the pain, sat back with a bag and a pen and page. So I'm going to imagine marijuana is not the substance, you know, with that bag. Fair enough, fair enough. Got it out, kicked the ass, spit the shit on stage. So it's almost like he went through a whole bunch of crap, ended up morphing it into an energy and like a set of rhymes and songs, went out and took that negative energy, flipped it into a positive in his life by creating Skribbal and going out there and living this shit. It's really beautiful. It really is. Like, no hyperbole or anything. And then, you know, chorus kicks back in. It's cheesy. It's nice. Then you get the second verse. Not going to do what you tell me to do. I know what's right. Respect. He's going to stick to his principles. Now that he's guided by the light and the truth, not going to be who you want me to be. Either accept me and respect me or dissect me and leave. Ain't no time for them silly-minded games. No time for them migraines. So I feel like now we're dealing with either an ex or like friends or social groups, but one of the weird things about change, and again, this is something I can relate to because in my past, I was a lot more of an asshole. I didn't necessarily congregate with the same types of people as I might today. And in that process, there's a lot of people who might not like the new you. Like, there are friendships that are just never going to be the same again in my life, because at the end of the day, the new me, who I'm being guided by, you know, my principles, what I think is right and whatnot, it isn't okay for others. And then people just kind of expect you to behave in this polite, like, conform to society kind of way. And often this is just to adhere to a series of middle-class norms. Norms being a series of accepted behaviors that people view as, like, normal. And often in the case of middle-class norms, just because it's the largest population group, right? This is like a lot of compromising to complacency and mediocrity. When you really break it down, it's don't stand up for what's right. It's like, keep your mouth shut and don't mind your own business and don't offend anyone. And then when you think about it, you're also supposed to care, but by caring, you're supposed to give money to charities and shit. And I don't know. I feel like the top level middle class norm narrative is kind of BS. So I feel what you're saying over here, Skribbal. Anyway, because times change and I've changed with time. Love it. It's like the idea that people can change and evolve. It's facts. People act like people can't change. And yes, to a degree, our cores are going to be the same. The idea that I will never talk too much is ridiculous. I will always talk too much. Will I have something worth saying? Well, maybe that could change. You know, like, it's just how you interpret that shit. I just want to watch my son shine, sick of all the drama. Wish I was at peace more with his mama. I love her too, just for giving birth to you. And even though we never made it together, we have you. Respect, man. Just the fact that, like, he would take the time to be like, listen, I think that, like, me and your moms, we have our issues, but you're the amazing thing, and I can't have malice there because it's like, I have to appreciate that. That's important to say. That's some real grown shit right there. I remember when she told me it was over, I was shaking, I was young, didn't see the signs. I guess it was too late, and I was terrified taking care of anybody else but myself, overcome with fear and overwhelmed. But once it settled and I held you in my arms, it was gone. All that worry went away, and we were strong. Baby, I love you. So it's like the idea that I guess the relationship fell apart and he felt broken and whatnot, but then seeing his son gave him like the power to like go on through it and honestly like hit that next level and grow. It's pretty dope. I felt it was pretty powerful. I really enjoyed listening to it. It's got like a serious tone to it, but I think it like adds some versatility to the project. 'Cause I can tell you one thing, the whole thing had just been like kind of in the same vein as like Pistol on My Side. I might have been a little bored by the end, but this was the right kind of spice to like make it super interesting and kind of keep me engaged. So well done on track placement and everything. 4.5 on 5. Really great song. The next one, it's the Spitstorm Interlude. So I really like this song, but I have to say I really like it a lot because it reminds me of Sabrina by Yelawolf, where like he goes after his kid and it's got the lightning stormy sounds and it's super theatrical. And I feel like it sounds like a lot like that. Not to like say he stole the idea or anything, but it sounds a lot like that. but that's a positive to me. So I was really into it, and just the way he comes at this with more of that spoken word poetry kind of flow over this, like, you know, interesting beat. Thought it was cool. And then I like how his kid ends it hyping up the featured acts on the next track. That was really cute. And it's just, I never really thought I would really hear a kid say Boondox and like Blaze You Dead Homie, but that happened. I suppose they probably do have that on their shit, but I've never heard it before, so that was interesting. Also, we're not there yet, but kudos on getting those features. That's some cool people to work with. This track though, it's real mood piecey. It's just out there. Like, to me, it stands out. Like, if you were gonna check something real quick when this project is out, I would jump on this because it's like the most poetic and interesting thing. I was born and raised in a white trash town, meth lab mayhem, taste that smell. You know what? One time I walked into a bar where everyone was smoking crack. You can taste that smell. I know what the fuck that means. Not because like I've consumed shit myself, but because that one time I walked into a certain bar over in Montreal and they did do that. Look at these creeps. Look at these speed freaks. All spun the fuck out here. Nobody sleeps. Family motto is fuck the police, and any rat gets a ball bat to the knees and a crack to the teeth. That's just me. So effectively, you're in this environment of drug users and shadows, and don't fucking knock out to the cops, and bad things happen if you even, it seems like, try to get help or anything. And then, I don't know, I like how the crack to the teeth line, right? Because it's like both like following up on the idea of getting boxed the fuck out, but also kind of outline the idea of drugs to me. That's the way mama pops raised me to be. I fuck up, so who's fucked up? Blow your face back with a bullet uncut. Here we go again. Narcotics Anonymous, walking with a bag of dope to snort off your mama's tits. So it feels like the environment he was raised in is pretty harsh, where it kind of sounds like in the more scarier sides of what hip-hop brings to the table when you look into the history annals of living in drug-infused growing up childhoods, and maybe not the best examples as parents, people who actually teach you values that can almost be detrimental to your life. This is a sad reality that goes on all the time, and especially when you think about families in isolation right now, there's some fucked up shit that's actually going on behind closed doors that people probably should care about. Anyway, that's not the point, but I like the idea of, like, you know, you're kind of looking at this struggle within a desire for drugs. Then you get to NA, you know, but then also the idea of being like wrecked, and to almost take that idea and flip it, like walk into a Narcotics Anonymous with a bag of dope to snort off your mama's tits, like just the general level of disrespect in it. Like, this is how he was raised. You know the vibes, kid. When I step into the spot, I'm a shine kid. Even though it keep raining and the pain keep coming, I'ma never stop running. I'ma get to the top of this hip-hop shit. You coming with me? Let's go. And then there's like a juxtaposition. So after like wilding out, giving you a sense of this Skribbal character, you know, the kind of Slim Shady-esque feel of going to an NA and snorting, you know, dope off your mom's tits, you get like a focus, right? So you get this whole fucking backstory that flips into this focus. I'm going to use this pain to channel my art to bring me to the top of this game. Are you going to join the ride? And then his kid introduces some interesting features, some like value, like players that are worth having. Like, I would love to work with the Blaze You Dead Homie Boondox, and I've never heard of Damius, but he's on the list now too. This was a first for me. Anyway, let's move on. Did I give this the grade? I did not. It's a 4.5 on 5. It's very nice. It's really creative. The next track though, it's called Betrayed. Alright, so off the jump, I like the beat on this. It's really fucking hype, and it has a cool energy. I think Skribbal absolutely steals the show as far as verses go. I just felt the energy on it, like knife to the backside, feel that bitch sting. I'm gonna pull that motherfucker out his range, let it bang, let it pop, drag his body on the rocks, let it drain, dump the shotty in the swamp, dirty rats get the blade. Back in the days before I knew the wicked ways, I was simping, living stupid with no blueprint for the maze. So you got that energy of where he's at now, like this harshness, and the way he just fucking wordplays this, like it's got like this air of I've done this before, I do it again, it ain't nothing to me, I'm gonna come through and wreck the situation. I like it. And then again, kind of looking back on his past and how maybe this wasn't like the best, etc., you know? So I navigated through hell and graduated. So I like the fact that there's this sense of I'm better now throughout his music. Hate flowing through my blood, never knew love, felt only pain. I would learn from the burn, turn $4 into 8, turn 8 into 80 G's, touch my money, catch a fade, fiends to the culture, they vultures, surround the nest, drag the motherfuckers to the depths, to their death. So, like, you know, he come through, use this hate, you know, made money in his own ways, and then kind of turns his sights on the people who steal from the culture, the vultures, the people who I guess kind of, there's got to be a lot of people who make shit that sounds exactly like this who are just full of shit. And when I say I've got to be, I mean it's a very known thing that this happens all the time, and a lot of people just do not care. But in this case, I feel like Skribbal just drops his energy, and he doesn't like fake shit, and he's going to come in and he's going to do what independent hip-hop does to fake shit. They come in and they violently destroy it. So I think he does that well. Crack pipe preacher, smoke going reacher, flow so reaper, stone cold creature. I spin the world around with a skeleton hand, developing weapons not even the fucking devil could stand. Wicked. I like it. I feel like he just comes through. I like the Wicked, you know, when you have that more Magic Ninja Juggalo style plays coming on through. It's cool to have Wicked. I couldn't remember who they're with. I think Blaze and Boondox are on MNE. I could be wrong. Don't get mad, Juggalo fans, if you hear, because I know y'all take this shit way too fucking seriously. Blaze comes through, though. And as far as hooks go, this is the best hook on the project. I'm not even going to lie. Betrayed, misled, deceive. By those that about disloyalty, it's just the way he spits it over the flow. It's got a hook to it. My closest one is stabbing me right in the back. How can this be? And when he buried that knife up in my back, I felt it sink in. I felt it puncturing my skin. I mean, it's more the flow and the delivery that's just sticky. It's a good one. So you get the sense that when you now hear this, you go back to Skribbal's verse, and it's somebody that's been hurt by people, you know, as that level of shade. So this is like Skribbal is the creature of an environment where he had to fend for himself, and now he's going after those that are evil in this world. It's almost like these guys are the good guys taking on they're vigilante warriors. And Blaze I just love that. I love the hook. It is definitely stand out. Boondox, I enjoy him. I just think I feel like it was just a little less good than what Skribbal brought to the table. But I liked it. You know, I'm the devil because I kick it with the heathens. That line is not great. That's just kind of fine. I am not the Antichrist sent to lead the non-believers. I am not a demon feeding on the souls of all the weak. And I am not a preacher preaching treason leading them from Eden. That's a lot of like, I'm nots and stuff. I don't know what he was going for there, to be honest. Maybe I'm just missing the point on why this is like super dope. But it just felt like, I don't know, like he hangs out with heathens. It just feels like an emo kid a little bit that's been bullied, and he's like, fuck all y'all, I'm not like that. I'm something far worse, a wolf amongst the sheeple, spreading evil with my people like a lethal verbal needle injected in the conscience. Show your fake empathy to all these mindless motherfuckers. We don't take sympathy. I don't know, it felt like the first part was like this ironic look at how we're evil because we try to care and whatnot. I mean, it's cool. I don't know. I just didn't connect with me like after Skribbal's verse. Like it felt weird, but it's not like terrible. Still a good verse. Something felt weird to me. Y'all can disagree. That's totally fine. Toddy's mindless mother. Anyway, I need to see them all bleeding, screaming, pleading for the freedom of a death we bringin'. I'm just confused. Like, I don't know. This verse, like, it just feels off. Like, everything sounds right except for the part where when I thought about it, it got a little confusing to me. So I'm going to move on because I don't want to piss off the Boondox if he ends up watching this. Like, we all cool. I enjoyed that last album of yours I reviewed. I still have a track. I can't remember the name of it, but I bump a Boondox track pretty regular off that last project. Anyway, moving on. We have Damius, where there are a couple parts of his flow that I felt were not like as on point as everyone else, but I love the energy of his verse. I felt like he was sounded really, really cool. I did have to point out, I can't remember where it is, a couple parts of the flow in the middle when it sounded like he tried to get tricky. It just felt a little off, just to me. But otherwise, amputate a bitch's arms and legs because I get off to it. That sounds like more on par with what I was expecting, right? Like that sounds a little more in line with like the Skribbal shit. Alright, I'm back at it. Keeping her aware as she looks at me while I laugh at it. Taking no prisoner because it's not necessary. Here to fuck your shit up like I was a mercenary. I mean, up until the mercenary line, that was pretty fucking good. That mercenary line was a little generic. But, like, in general, you know, that's the problem with this kind of rap. It's like, it's so hard to be, like, truly creative and innovative when you're touching on shit that, like, almost everybody does. Like, everybody that's like a hard independent rapper is gonna say shit like, here to fuck your shit up like I was a mercenary. Like, it isn't like an exceptionally clever delivery to that. It's just, it's like a standard bar. Calmness on my face is showing, and hatred inside me is growing, and with or without you knowing, I'm very close to exploding. Better grab my gun. Now you're on the run. Got the taste of on my tongue, but to get me some. The hunt is on. Gotta get the guns drawn. Your head's blowing off. You were dead by dawn. All of it sounds like fine. I don't know. I feel like I'm not as enthusiastic about this. I feel like the chorus and Skribbal's verse is pretty exceptional. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's because like there's a less of a generic sound to what Skribbal is. It feels like Skribbal's like actually tapping into some rage, and it feels like Damius is talking about rage in a way where he's using the right language, but it isn't innovative. It's just him and Boondox are a little more on the standard side here. I don't know. The beat's great. I'm giving this a 4.35. Like, if this came on, I just let it play. It's a great track, all things considered. But I don't like it when I think about the bars, and then it just doesn't like feel as exceptional as I'd like it to be. Like, I want to be sitting here praising all these guys, and I just don't have it in my heart to do so. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about Under Alien Control. Aether, Haze sounds pretty fucking incredible to me. Just the singy, rappy flow, like look around, wondering where we've landed. The flashing lights got me in a trance, and that's nice. And I like the kind of just overall concept of the more alien theme shit. Like, literally at the end, he does the shootout shit, and instead of guns, it's fucking laser sounds. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was like committing to the concept in a way that like it really added value. So thank you, Skribbal, for like going deep on committing to this one. The buzzing sounds sink deep into their sanctum. I think this is abduction. We're on a different planet. So it's effectively the same shit in terms of the more aggressive kind of sound and whatever. But committing to the sci-fi theme just excites me and delights me in a way where I'm feeling that creativity, where I don't hear a lot of stuff that sounds like that. I'm not saying again that it's like, anyway, I think this is just a cool twist. Like, if you're going to do it, adding cool twists like this totally just comes off fresher. Like, you don't have to say I'm the coolest. You can just do some cool shit, and that's what I feel like this is. Non-stop running tracks like a racehorse. Kick back, gun and rap. I'ma stay raw. Bend the head and back, never slack. I go AWOL. Hopping on in the craft. Hit the gas. Time for takeoff. I mean, it's all right. I definitely like the commitment to the takeoff line. I feel like this is him just going in. He's going hard. It is consistent with what we've been getting on the project. I don't know. I think it's the next part where it starts to get a little more interesting to me. Back from Andromeda, sci-fi bars. Slugs for the commoner, jumping out the starship. Murder is the moniker. Came to pull the plug on your planet. We the mafia, soaking the blood of king. It's the conqueror, slaughterer. So I guess what I like about this is that he commits and sticks to the space theme as it goes on. It feels like, in a sense, he's coming through. He's going to fuck you up like he's been doing the whole project, except for the Kit song, but like, you know, the new Leaf and whatnot. But like, just the fact that they're coming through on an intergalactic conquest makes it cool. Like, now reformed into cybernetic soldiers, dropped from the shuttle, shot through the time warp, marched through the rubble. Love it. I'm picturing Stargate shit going on with Skribbal leading the case. Then the hook drops back in, and it's real good. Something I didn't point out, most of these tracks are like under 3 minutes. They're short, they're quick. It just feels like something you throw together while you're in quarantine, but in the best possible way. Like, it's a good surprise. I like the second verse, time warp. I redefine war. I like the way that sounds. I like the way he rhymes that. My sword ripped through your life force. I like the way he rhymes. He really rhymes well. Like, I think that's my favorite part of Skribbal, is the way he can accent and manipulate the way he says everything to make the things rhyme like they're supposed to rhyme in creative ways. So even if the bars themselves, I'm not preaching out on the philosophical insight, the way he rhymes dying horror with July 4th is flawless. So that is excellent rapping. But yeah, lying sore, your planet is a dying whore. Burn this motherfucker down like July 4th. Intimidate, obliterate, and rebuild. Assimilate, shift, shape, mate, feed, kill. just obliterate and rebuild, mate, feed, kill. Like, that's dope. That is great fucking rhyming. And I like the idea of him kind of playing through and going through his intergalactic assassin. He works for the passion, stepping on my turf, and my bird will start clapping. Fuck Game of Thrones. I don't kill no dragons. Came from the Shire, bitch. Bilbo Baggins. That's amazing. I'm a geek, right? So, like, when he's bringing up a bunch of sci-fi references and fantasy elements, well, actually, he shits on fantasy to go down. No, he picks one fantasy over a different. I respect it. Tolkien is more interesting than Martin, I think, for the historical everything. Overall, this track is fun. I think it comes through, and like the way he niched it up really just added spice in the way that he changed it up before. It's really consistent in terms of the tone of who Skribbal is. I feel like everything he delivers has this edge to his voice that just makes the lines punch. So 4.5 on 5, great track. Next up we have Leech. So I would say Leech is like the other ones in terms of him coming through, being a bit more on that tough guy, West Coast bangy kind of sound. But I liked it a little bit less. Not a lot less, just a little smidge less. Like, I guess maybe it's also like when you're listening to a project, sometimes if the same concept or the same overall tone comes back and you're just not in the mood for it, like, it's unfortunate. Leech is track 7. If this had been track 1, I might have been like feeling that, and then Pistol on My Side being track 7, maybe I would have felt different. That's just the way it works sometimes in my life. But all of the things that I said on the other tracks are consistent. His rhyming is next level. He flows over the beat proper. But I like this. I feel like this beat's a little simpler. It's a little like playing to what it is. It's got that core sound, and if you dig it, you dig it. But it's the only one I could feel like I'd have to be in the mood for it more than everything else. I would just like let play kind of thing. But I'm spinning, I gotta take a piss, so I reach for my dick and I squeeze the tip a bit, piss on myself, fell the fuck down, blackout, passed out, trashed on the ground. I respect that, right? Why? Because when was the last time you heard a dude talk about the struggle of being wasted, trying to like hold your dick and taking a piss? That is creative. I don't hear a lot of people discussing that. I can tell you that drunk me has had issues peeing in situations, and it's possible I blacked out in my life. Shit faced, and at this pace, I'm on a downward spiral. Mistakes, no breaks. I cut him last night. Now pass me the Jack in Atlanta. Snow White, bitch. Get off my shish kebab. I like that. So he's fucked up. He's on a spiral. He's going crazy doing his shit. His little Snow White bar, because that's cool, because he's got like a girl or some cocaine. And anyway, flows it into the girl bar. Get off my shish kebab, his dick, if you get my drift. I got flows that'll blow your britches off, so it goes back to the cocaine bar, but at the same time, now he's moved into how his flow's ridiculous, but back to the sex bar, because he's basically good enough that his bars will fuck you. So dope, and you know my shit is raw, which is also back to a cocaine, sex, and rap bar. Raw, triple entendre. That's actually pretty clever. I didn't catch that till this moment, so well done, Skribbal. Legitimate beast, homos hit the floor. I'm a liberal in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I can't be on board with the homos hit the floor line. I'm just not able to. It's against my liberal ass breeding at this point. But otherwise, it's pretty proper. I would avoid those homo lines if I was you, Skribbal. But you can also call me a social justice warrior or some shit, and it might hold a little bit more truth than I'd like to admit, because, you know. Anyway, that's just my Canadian Montreal ass here talking. Then you get the next thing where it's like back at it, flow so cancerous, no hoes dance to this, just smoke cannabis, medicated, feel my body levitated, I handle it, no damages, I'm branded with the symbol of insanity. Warlord, walk up in your crib, slaughter your family. And then it's basically him running through flowing for the rest of the track. He's got a couple more verses that come through, and I kind of like the fact that he does this. It doesn't get boring. It's just this flagrant, Slim Shady-esque, careless, wild free attitude, you know? Like, if I ever meet a bitch who claimed to be a fan of me, I'd smother all her kids, cut her up, and kill fanatically. Hey baby, front to back, you better work that crank, grip that shaft. Hey baby, don't hold back, Skribbal finna bust the load on your ass. And I really just, it's like that era. Like, I'm almost picturing Eminem talking about fucking that fat girl on As the World Turns. That's like the vibe this kind of airy lyricism's giving to me. I wish I liked the beat more. That's all I'm trying to say. Mary had a little lamb pulling down her underpants, stuck its fucking cock in her twat until she couldn't stand. Came to me to please her, thought I would eat her. Well, I did. Literally, that bitch is in the freezer. Clever wordplay there, you know, coming in on the freaky nature of them. It's alright. It goes on like that for the rest of the track, and it's pretty fucking great. If you're into more of that airiness, lyrically, this is one of the more creative and fun songs. It was just a beat. And then, I have to say, at the end of the track, the yo, fuck rap music, yo, fuck that new shit, another counterfeit, you are useless. I'm not a huge fan of, like, independent lyrical dudes going at the mainstream and going at all of that shit. Like, a lot of these people are just trying to get paid and whatnot, so I kind of get that. I'm personally an underground, go for the purity of the culture type of dude, so I agree about, like, fucking a lot of people, but I feel like, just in general, the attitude of fuck rap music is confusing to me. Like, I guess in my position, I consume a lot of new music, but I also like cherry pick stuff I want to review in a lot of cases, like this new Skribbal project. I wanted to review this. I would say that the new shit that is often hated on isn't really pop like it was. It's like really not. It's like, sure, if you go to the Billboard Top 40 for hip hop, that's silly. Like, we're reviewing a Tribe Called Quest's album, The Low End Theory, and one of the most significant bars on that project to me, which popped into my head when I heard Skribbal say this, is like, hip hop is not pop. Like, just don't do that. So like, what people are attacking with this like fuck rap music idea, it's just kind of like I feel like it's vapid. It's like you're attacking like the corporate shit. It's like the people who listen to this. But on the other hand, it's good marketing for Skribbal, because the people who are going to listen to Skribbal are going to eat that shit up and run with it. But to me, it's like, it's unnecessary. Everybody says this. Like, literally everybody says this to a point where it's like a checklist item. Now, this is just my personal vendetta with these types of bars. And it's because, like, virtually all of them, like Tech9 does it, all these guys do it. But it's like, yo, it's good that rap music's pop. It means all of us have a fucking chance. Like, we need these shitty sellout artists to make sure that moms listen to shit that has hip-hop on the charts, so that everybody gets a chance, and algorithmically hip-hop gets more attention than, say, fucking country music or something. So in my opinion, I love the new shit. Let it all come in. Let's get more moms listening to Post Malone and 21 Savage. Why? Because then inevitably those same moms will move on to Skribbals. Because that's how I look at it. Like, I look at this new rap like it's like, you know, it's like shake and bake. When you don't know how to cook, shake and bake is quite fine. You'll get into it, or sidekicks. But then along the way, you get tired of the process bullshit, and you learn how to make some proper fucking chicken, or some proper fucking shit. And that's what it is. You start off with vapid, aimless singles rap, and you move on to a Skribbal. So look at it like, Skribbal, you're the hard drugs, and you need the gateway shit. And that's what the new music is. Anyway, I give this track a 4.25, because all of my grievances aside, it's still great. It's still, like, well made. Keep in mind, any of my criticisms aside, I might just be in a weird mood sometimes when I'm recording this stuff, so you gotta take it all with a grain of salt. Everything on this project is extremely well made. Like, if I didn't personally have talked to Skribbal, I wouldn't believe, like, it's like, I could be, like, absolutely convinced this guy is top tier professional, is what I was trying to convey just by listening to it. Like, already linked up to top producers and shit, just hearing the quality of this album. So knowing him and like seeing where he's at and watching him grow and shit, it's just pretty fun, actually. Anyway, let's move on to the last track. The reason we even got to doing this thing in the first place, because yeah, I did watch The Tiger King. Fuck Carole Baskin. If you're gonna do a gimmicky song, make it good. He did a gimmicky song. He did it good. Listen, when you watch Tiger King, you are absolutely left with the feeling of fuck Carole Baskin, fuck that bitch. Like, how could you not be? Tiger King lied through their fucking teeth about the truth of it. Like, yo, if you go look into like the truth of the situation, maybe Carole Baskin fed her husband to tigers. Maybe. Man, they fucking played her. They lied to her fucking face, got a bunch of footage, got up in there and made her look like a chick who fucking fed her husband to a tiger. Like, this woman's life must be awful. She's a fucking meme. She's like, She's done. She's probably getting harassed on the daily. Literally, you type her name in, Skribbal's fuck Carole Baskin's gonna come up. Like, on the one hand, I'm just absolutely, I'm bamboozled that we've reached the point where not only am I like feeling the idea of what this track is, but I also simultaneously feel bad for Carole Baskin. But this is amazing that Tiger King is so what it is. It's just so weird. It's like the ultimate true crime show. Anyway, the beat is amazing here. It's just such an earworm. The chorus is such a banger. I feel bad for her, but I'm still gonna sing it. And then you get the verse. Ayo, fuck Carole Baskin, that bitch killed her mans, fed his ass to the cacks. There's like a fucking tiger sound. Collecting up all them bands. Free Joe Exotic, he's snorting up the narcotics, but fuck it, that dude is realer than 90% of y'all. I'm gonna have to chime in here about Joe Exotic for a quick second. I agree he was snorting up them narcotics, but if you go listen to the dude's country songs, he didn't sing that shit. There was no way that 10 on 10 perfect sounding country singer is that guy's scraggly ass fucking voice. And he paid a professional country singer. So, as far as his music goes, he's pretty much as fake as the guys that y'all went after at the end of the last track, you know, fuck the new shit. But then again, you watch the video to hear Kitty Kitty and some of these other Joe Exotic tunes, and A, I'm going, I'm watching country music. I don't really like country. But B, it's like, it's fucking bold. Like, to hear Kitty Kitty video has Carole Baskin, a fake Carole Baskin, feeding her fucking husband 2 tigers in the video. It's nuts. Anyway, defiant, not silent, now fucked over by his dogs, beast mode, never retreat, no way you could write him off. Fair enough. He's basically summarizing the plot of the show, the perception of Joe Exotic being this badass vigilante. I mean, if I had just watched the documentary, this song is like flabbergastingly on point. Having learned a little bit more after the fact and how much is skewed in the truth, it's like, fair enough. This is a great song. I mean, the truth doesn't change how good the song is. Put back to that hypocritical bitch, that cynical twisted shit that she pull in, I would flip. She laughing and make me sick fucking with Joey's clique. I hope that dumb cunt ends up dead in a fucking ditch. I mean, this sounds like any other track going after like a political figure who done fucked up, only it's Carole Baskin. Like, hey, cool cats and kittens. Anyway, this is fucking nuts. I can't believe I get to talk about Tiger King today. It just made my day better. I like the second verse more. If I was Joe, I would have gone pro, hired a professional to fire through that bitch's head, turn her to a vegetable. It's true. Joe fucked up with the stupid hitman move. Should have took to Auntie's word, ignored that bitch and handled it, burned down his own building, villainous, he savaged it. Now he doing 20 plus fucker and that Howard prick. That Howard prick is a complete yes man who worships her. It seems like he's just kind of there for her money when she dies. Sour tits, dirty cunt, full of fucking venom. Like a snake, she drains these men of everything, and then she spins them, got them broke. Void of hope, void of energy and soul. Another husband missing. Another meal straight up out the kitchen, feed the kitties. That's the psycho bitch that should be in prison. Listen, everybody gonna get the karma they deserve. I hope Carole and her fuck boy hit the curb. Word. First of all, great use of cuck Skribbal. I do feel he's a little cucked when he's. I could see how Carole gets a couple dudes to come in the room and fuck her in front of him, and then he sits there and sucks their dicks and watches. That is actually the kind of vibe I got from him too, if it counts for anything. But on the one hand, this song is totally unfair to Carole Baskin, because like what I found out after, it's kind of sad. On the other hand, this song is fucking hilarious. It's just like, if you watch Tiger King, it makes total sense and it just works. Everything about this works. Plus, listening to it, it makes me think about how much I enjoyed watching Tiger King, which is crazy. I don't even like the kind of TV Tiger King is, but that show's nuts. You should watch it. It sounds great. As far as gimmicky shit goes, this is fantastic. Like, if you're gonna do it, make it entertaining, make it fun. Both Bonnie and I found this to be quite an enjoyable track. I shared it on my socials. I thought it was dope. Anyway, fuck Carole Baskin gets a 4.35 on 5 from me. It's truly gimmicky. Otherwise, it would get a higher mark. But like I said, sometimes you want that sugary goodness. Anyway, that's the end of this little quarantine session EP. I really enjoyed listening to this project. Do I think this is the most pensive, like sit there and, philosophize album? No. But I also just don't think I would get, like, that's not what I would go listen to Skribbal for. Skribbal's giving me shit to wash dishes to and to, like, turn up to in, like, ways when I want to feel, like, harder than I truly am in my life. I like the project. It's consistent quality. Skribbal's flow, like, just to be, like, on point here with him, Skribbal's on point with his flow. He's clear. Every syllable is understandable. The way he rhymes is masterful. I'll admit, wasn't 1,000% sold on the Boondox and other guy feature, but otherwise I think everything about this album is really worth checking out. If you're into that lyrical banging type shit, that hard hitting stuff, if you feel that real hip hop is dead, then this is the kind of album I would recommend checking out. If you're into the more sentimental, you don't want the hard shit, just put on that kind of Love and Spitstorm. Anyhow, great effort, great project. I recommend it. Check it out. Link in descriptions and all that. I did give it a 4.39 on 5. I forgot to give my grade. I think it's well made. I think it's just another example of hip hop existing in 2020, a year that is today, that is producing good quality music you should be listening in instead of complaining about the new stream of stuff. So instead of being like Skribbal and saying fuck new hip hop, be like Skribbal and make good hip hop. See what I said there? Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Like the video if you felt it. Leave me down a little comment with kind of a little chit chat about that. Let me know what you think. And special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prada, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Lindo Williams, and Skribbal, who have the power to request reviews, which Skribbal did not do for this one. I proactively just offered because I felt like it. I do have a slight more time these days. Like, I'm able to get all of my exercising done by like 6 o'clock. It makes it easier than getting home at 6 and trying to fit exercise in. So more reviews, but we're gonna get some stuff done for y'all quickly. If you do want to see a particular album, you should probably do the Patreon thing, or you can wait a while and then we'll inevitably do it. Otherwise, they're amazing because we are trying to grow and expand and hit the next level and all that good stuff. Anyway, I make music myself. You can check that out. I have a new single coming out May 13th. Otherwise, I have stuff on Spotify. You can search for my name. Links in description. Holden Stephan Roy, The Alternative Grind. I'm definitely running out of steam. I'm going to move on with my day. Thank y'all for being here with me. Live long and prosper, everyone.